Nzuko the Igbo na Qatar. You want to know what it's all about? Don't move. I'm Stephanie, your host for tonight's show on Afritv Online. I have three special guests with me, Mr. Justin, Chief Kevin, and Pastor Lawrence. They are going to introduce themselves and tell us more about themselves and about who and what is all about the Igbo Union in Qatar. So let them introduce themselves as we start the show. Please, let's start with you.
Thank you very much, moderator. Dear viewers, thank you for joining us. My name is Ogusie Justin, and I am the officer, welfare officer in this great union. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
My name is Mr. Ikechukwu Lawrence. I also head from Imo State, Amibo, one local government area of Imo State.
Welcome to the show.
Bondama Keleno, Vieno, Mono, Dekono Surino, Ahambo, Chief Kevin, Kelechi Amechi, of Imo State, Nangana Banke, Ngopa, our Moabo, Chikota, Apokwego, Ghana Financial Secretary, Nzuko.
Welcome to the show. So, our viewers, I hope you're up for tonight's show. Drop your comments, drop your questions, all about, you want to know about the union in Qatar for the Igbos. Just drop them on our comment section and we'll address them. Welcome to the show as we start it. So, I would like us to, for you to tell our viewers who you are in details, your profession, and we can take it from there. Let's start with Mr. Lawrence.
Mr. Lawrence. As I said before, my name is Ikechukwu Lawrence, and my work here, I'm the president of Nzuko in Qatar, and I'm a HSC personnel.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I want to collaborate with what my president already said. You know, here we have similarities of a profession. I'm also a HSC personnel in Qatar.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I am also a HSC professional in Qatar. Basically, this is what we do for a living, apart from being the financial secretary of Nzuko.
Okay, Mr. Justin, we didn't get to get your states. You're both from Imo State, right?
Yes.
Yes, and you're also from Imo?
Yes.
Okay. We are all from Imo State, right? So, about the Igbo Union, the Nzuko Ndi Igbo na Qatar, what inspired you to start this union? Maybe Mr. Kevin can tell us.
Okay, thank you. Nzuko Ndi Igbo na Qatar. I go by the motto. Our motto says, Onyahala one layer. In other way around, we say also, Onrube one name, Abaloso. Back home, we have this tradition of keeping together as brothers, as brethren. We always have this tradition of looking out for one another. And that spirit, that culture, we brought over. Because though we are far from home, but we need to make where we are home from home. And that is the first basis for starting out the Nzuko. Then again, before the birth of Nzuko, we had some challenges. Like for instance, we had the death of one of our loving brother who passed on to glory, the governor, Brother Obina by name. When he died, we were challenged to take the course. to repatriate the corpse. On that premise, we had individuals, not a group, not a union. So we now thought that the energy we exerted in trying to call people together, trying to ask for some help, financial or individual basis, asking people if we come together collectively and have a union, things like this should not be a headache to us. And on that premise, we started. Though it was on a sad note, but things happen for reasons, and it happened that way.
Anything you need to add,
Yeah.
Mr. President?
Yeah. Yeah. The death of our brother Obinna Sylvester Obodo. He was a promising youth, and this young guy he has helped also many in Qatar. So his death was a shock, and also what prompted so many Igbos in Qatar to come together collectively to see that we take his corpse back home. And during those process, we are going as individually, just as my financial secretary have said. We are going individually asking people for funds so that his corpse may be repatriated back home. Because in Igbo land, our corpse of our relatives are not be buried outside. So this is also what prompts the NIDO and the embassy to contact the Igbos here in Qatar to know what to do. And also the death of this Obinna, it makes everyone to be unified. We all come together, we all say, even after this death of this brother, we will still be separate. Why not us come together and have a unified union that will benefit of every Igbos in Qatar? And some certain things that even aspired me to say that let us form this union. Because as of 18th of September 2018, it's only me and NIDO President, Mr. Victor Kulu. It's only both of us carry the corpse of this late Obinna. So I was saying, where are the Igbos in Qatar? That only me and the NIDO President should carry the corpse of this young man. So all this meant I tabled it in the meeting, and the late Obinna's sister, who was there, pleaded that let's us have a unified umbrella of Igbo in Qatar. Irrespective, there are different zonal meetings, community meetings in Qatar, but there is no unified umbrella that one voice can speak. So this made us to come together and say who is going to be the leader, who is going to stand as an interim to carry the people along. So we all agreed, just as it has been in the Igbo culture, democracy has been in Igbo culture, the origin of Igbo culture, to select their leader. So that's why all that we are gathered and all cast the votes and said by counting that you, Pastor Lawrence Ikechukwu Hanik, you are going to be our leader, president for now. So that is how we unite together and we kick off the Nzuko in Qatar.
Okay. You have anything to add on that?
My president has said it all. It's a thing of joy to have brothers gather in unity. It's not a strange thing, because because Igbos are known for this kind of thing, this kind of gathering. Not only here, even in other countries where Igbos are located, we are always seen in our communities, especially the slogan or the motto that our brother used, Onyagala one name. That is, don't leave your brother. Anywhere you are, don't leave your brother. Because when you see an Igbo man walking, you will know that you will identify him very easily. Understand? Because Igbos are very industrious. Understand? We are entrepreneurial. We are hardworking. Everywhere you see us, we are so, and that is why we are successful. We're intelligent, and that is the reason why we always identify ourselves wherever we are. And also, as we're here in Adiza, we are brothers. I live alone. He lives with his family. He lives alone. Maybe the place he's living with other nationalities. He doesn't speak his language, our language. We have Igbo language. Like me also, I live with other nationalities who don't understand the Igbo. So when we gather together like this, it enables us to interact. It enables us to synergize and know, how to communicate and, flow with our, feel like you're back home, share those proverbs or those things. So the purpose of the gathering of this group cannot be overemphasized. It's a thing of joy, and we are happy to have this organization. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Mr. Kevin, maybe you can tell our viewers the name of the union and what it means and what inspired you to choose that name in particular.
Nzuko. In English, you could say, in a simple term, the gathering of the Igbos, the Igbo lives in this country, Qatar. The union is an umbrella body for all Igbo-speaking states, including those from the riverine areas, the deltas, where we have Igbos also. They are all welcome, and of course we have some of them with us. This organization basically, like we said, the primary aim is to look out for one another. The primary aim is to enhance ourselves. Because it's one thing to say, okay, I am here. It's another thing to say, oh, I need to identify with the union, an umbrella body that seeks to cover the whole Igbo race in Qatar. Then is another thing to be in that union and you are useful to yourself, to the union, to the immediate environment where you live. One of the things we do preach basically is we are here and we need to obey rules and regulations of this land. So we use this forum also as a channel to talk to our people, to always address our people, to always ensure that we try as much as possible to reach out to our people in every way that we can, be it financially, be it morally, be it anything, just to make sure that we make them feel belong somewhere. And that is always the primary essence of
So, our president, when was this started? Which year was the union started?
Yeah, the union started in 2018, on October 26, 2018. That was when it started.
Apart from the unifying part of the purpose, what other purpose was put out for the group? Let's create this group. Okay, we are unifying the Igbos, we are unifying all the states together, but what other purpose did you have?
Yeah, the purpose we have one is to bring all Igbos to Qatar, just as the name is. Nzuko in Igbo is the collective, and it's the call to all Igbos in Qatar to come together and be in one umbrella, so that we can also bring the culture, enhance the culture of the Igbos. Because there's something I noticed. I went to a brother house in this Qatar, and the daughter of this Igbo brother is not speaking our language. So this prompts me to what is really happening. So I want to say that also the aim of this organization is also that our language will not be lost. The Igbo red language and their culture will not be lost. Just as you are seeing me putting all this attire now, it tells me that that is where I come from. And that will make me one day also to be, all I have to be doing in Qatar, it also tells me that one day I have to go home. So this is also one of the objectives that makes us to form this organization. And the other one is also about not every time somebody dies in Qatar, all people will be running around to look for money. And if the money is not there, many may be buried in Qatar. Let's assume that we are not called or not aware of our brother's Obina's death. We don't know the case, what will happen. Maybe it might be buried here in Qatar. But by coming together, and we all, because they said, which means that when you come together and unite, it will bring force. So, and again, it's also, the organization was created also for all Igbos to have unified voice, one voice in Qatar. So that whenever they will call, let an Igbo come, there will be a one person that will speak. Or even back home, because we also communicate to those back home. Even back home, who is going to represent Qatar? It will be also from Igbos for if they have one voice. And again, there is a proverb in Igbo land that says that it's not easy to break a broom when a broom is together. But when a broom is one piece, it will be easy to break. So whenever we come together as a brother, we share the same love, just as this union has been sharing. We share the same love. It will not be easy to be broken.
Yes.
Whoa, that's very nice. It's a very good purpose, actually. So, how many members do you have so far?
By God's grace, we have 91 and still counting.
91?
And still counting, yes. Because we have registered and non-registered members, as long as Igbo, because we have various Igbo communities in Qatar. We have various states. The way we have in, let me digress. In Nigeria, we have various ethnic groups, and Igbo is one of them. And when you come here, the same way we have in Nigeria is also the same way we have here. We have Hausas, we have Yorubas, we have Igbos here. We have also those from other ethnic nationalities that make up Nigeria. We have them here. But by God's grace, Igbos make up 60% of Nigerians in Qatar. And that's the reason why we have this group to gather us together. And by God's grace, we are registering and we are still accommodating more people.
Okay, so but currently 91
currently
are members.
91.
So what are the requirements for one to be a member in this group?
Okay. I will allow my secretary, because the financial secretary, because it falls on his office.
Okay.
Not that I don't know, but let him say.
And again, before that, let me clear the air that from the name Nzuko Igbo na Qatar, it comprises that all the Igbos in Qatar are our members.
Yes.
They are all members.
Yes, they're all members. But when it comes of financially, that's where my publicity chairman has.
There's a number to that.
Yeah.
But generally, all Igbos. Okay.
Adding to that, all Igbos potentially are members of the union by default. Then registered financial members, 91, still counting. And we know that there are a lot of people who probably just heard and they are coming on board for the sake of the coronavirus and restrictions. By the time we kick off again, we will have more members on board. But I'll be waiting. Now, talking about becoming a member, we made it simple. We made it simple because our interest is to get everybody on board. Our registration fee is only in sum of 50 riyals. And then we'll have what makes you an active member, the monthly dues.
So the 50 real, is it a one-time fee?
Yeah, it's a one-time fee. But you know, every organization starts from small and starts growing. And when we started, we made it so, and it was an individual thing for registration of membership. But today, we are not looking at individual registration anymore. We are looking at states, the chapters, the maybe local government, because we've come to understand that here we have, just like I said from the onset, that we have this in our blood running to always gather. So even me, in our small set of kinsmen in this Qatar, we have our meeting. And that is how it is to every other man. So now we are reaching out to all the communities and asking them to register as a community. And that will become registration covering all their members into the union. So this is how we made it so that it can become much easier and much simplified. Rather than dealing with individuals, we deal with the group and from the group, because everyone has to be accountable. In this country, for instance, we are identifying with different bodies. We identify with NIDO, we identify with Nigerian Embassy. So if, for instance, Nigerian Embassy calls to say, oh, something happened, Igbo people, and who do I call? Then they will call on the union, which is Kondi. They call on the president and the executive. It is now our responsibility to provide every other detailed information as they would require. And how do we do this? When we get the various ethnicities or various joints, when we get them incorporated, then we can be accountable, we can be responsible. Because if somebody says Igbo, I say Igbo, okay, just give me a minute and then I call back. Oh, okay, yes, we know this person. And this is how we want to get it to find. So this is how our membership and registration goes at the moment.
Okay, so it's only the financial part of, for you want to be registered?
Yeah, once if you're financially registered or not, like I said, by default, every Igbo man or woman in this country is a member. Now, what differentiates you from being a dormant member or passive member is the registration. Once you are registered, then your name is properly documented elsewhere apart from the general register of everybody. So, and based on that, we treat issues also officially.
Okay. So, Mr. President, in the purpose, apart from burial and deaths, do you maybe like support each other, maybe weddings, or someone is planning on something has happened, they have financial strain, they have issues, or it's only some particular?
That's when it comes up the benefits of the member. Just like in the Constitution, Article 13, from 1. And that's where you speak about, yes, we do assist and help even the registered members and even non-registered members. Because just as we said before, our motto is Onyahala 1 year, not forsake your brother. So we still, since we are in the moving train, to see that all Igbos, they will fight together with the one voice. We are also be relating to our brothers that are financially down, that are sick, that even have a little misunderstanding, that even have challenges in their workplace, as we say in Qatar. So we intervene in such cases, and I want to tell you that we have done great in such a way.
Okay. So maybe you can tell us, do you guys have meetings, or it's just if anything happens is when you always meet?
Yes, we have meetings before this COVID era. We usually have our meetings on Fridays, last Fridays of the month. By the time we have our meetings, sometimes we have it in people's home or at a designated area that we choose. We have meetings, and it has been going on very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, to addition to what you have said, even though during this pandemic, we also have meetings in the Zoom. Yeah, we have meetings. This is, remember, our motto is Onya Halawane. So we don't give a gap to our brothers. Understand? We don't give a gap to our brothers. We still like to communicate, to flow with that brotherhood. So we are having meeting on Zoom, and also communicating with our brothers even online. Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can also expand on the benefits that these Igbos are enjoying being in this union. Okay, it's not a good thing to say, but what do they stand to gain? Okay, I'm joining this, but what do I stand to gain from this? Apart from what you've said up in the purpose.
Yeah, we stand to gain, that's what I've said before. We stand to gain, if you're a financial member, we have to gain one. If you are sick, you will also be visited, and also we also give you some palliatives. And again, during the time of wedding, we also give the rights, which is due for a financial member. Even though, as I've said before, we go beyond this to also see our brothers that are down in the states that one cannot write home about. So we also assist in those areas too, to see that they are being helped. And again, we also, our members also gain by, there are some conferences that we have created. Example, like as of 2019, we carried out a program which led to almost all the Igbos having a certificate, environmental certificate in Qatar. And I want to tell you, that really helps those that engage in that. They really get it, because I saw some people that again work through that certificate. And again, in our WhatsApp forum, jobs have been posted. I know how many people that have been connected. I know how many people that members has also helped. Even though one of our brother, I know someone who got an 8,000 Qatar job through the environmental certificate that we all did. We give it out for every member of Igbo in Qatar.
Wow, okay.
So we have really gone a long way to assist our people. And again, during this time of pandemic, we also give out the palliative to members and non-members. So this has really gone over. I believe my financial secretary and my publicity officer will also say something regarding this.
Anyway, like my president rightly said, the benefits of being a member of Nzuko cannot be overemphasized. We are into everything. Even sometimes it amazes us the way we do these things, or we go about them, looking at maybe our strengths financially and other ones. But at the background, God has been our ultimate strength. We delve into everything. as long as it concerns an Igbo man or woman in this country, be it the good side, the bad side, or the ugly side. We delve into it. At least if it's something that is maybe bad, so as it may be. We also try to see, as much as we don't encourage negative things and all of that, we try to see how that person can have a soft mind, not encouraging. You must face whatever it is, but with a soft mind. So, and that is to say that including maybe if there are legal issues to pursue and all of that, we have our lawyer who stands by us with all of this, known and registered with the government of Qatar. So, and through him, we will have all the necessary legal advice on how to go about things. Then, like we say, being a member or not being a member, I think even it's going to be like how those who are potential members, non-registered members, if we go back to our records, they must have enjoyed more benefits from the union than the actual registered members. Because it's always the case of, okay, I had, let me take my time to observe, maybe. And maybe in the course of observing, there is one issue or the other, the person runs into one issue or the other, then it's, oh, there is a union, let me call on them. And we don't say because they're not registered, we will not come. But we, at least, first of all, like in our place, there is an adage that says that when a child does something wrong outside, you defend the child outside, and when you come inside, then you admonish the child. So that is what we do. We don't just say, okay, you did something wrong and you're not our member, throw him, take him. No. We still go for the person, because probably that is the way the person would learn and be able to know the importance of being a member. So, membership rights or privileges or benefits, you cannot be well-versed. We have a lot of things in our...
Have anything to add on that?
Oh, yeah. The area our financial secretary is talking about also is like conflict resolution. You know, in a society as this, where people live, there are meant to be squabbles, and in our tradition, when there is issue, you contact the elders, or maybe those that have higher authority over you, like my president, as you can see what he's holding on, you know, what he's holding here. This is a symbol of authority. It's not just a craft. It's a symbol of, we call it offer. Understand? We call it offer. And so this authority. So when in our tradition, when somebody holds this and he's talking to you, you respect. And whatever thing he tells you, whatever thing, you understand, with a matter of sincerity, you must do what you must adhere to it. And that is our tradition. So the benefits Igbos enjoy or will enjoy in Qatar cannot be overemphasized. You know, we are democratic in nature, and that is the reason why I know viewers are watching us. So that is why I need to, you know, speak also so that they will hear, because they believe they belong to various Igbo states. We cannot be segmented, like our president said. We cannot be segmented. Coming together, synergizing together in every activity that we do in Qatar will help us to achieve our aims. For instance, there were Igbo gangs that came here. They had visa issues. They came here. They were living in a room, 3 of them, or even 6 of them. Understand? Somebody did visa for them, and they were looking for, you know, their brothers, how they are going to, you know, raise food and other things. They had their food finished. They saw one Igbo guy when they were, you know, walking around. They saw Igbo guy, and that Igbo guy, he posted it in our group, and immediately we intervened. And they followed my officer, the welfare officer. I had to visit them in their room, know what their problem was, and then we were able to solve it. So that is one of the benefits of belonging and having this kind of association. Understand, where you have your people that understand you, understand your breath, they live the same way you do, they understand, they eat the food you eat, they speak the same language you speak. All these things come together. It's very, very, enlightening, very, very exciting to have your people around you and backing you up. Yeah.
Okay, we have some questions from our viewers, and I think they're directed to you, being the welfare part.
Yeah.
Okay, has the Igbo Union in Qatar ever reached out to those in deportation camps?
Yeah, thank you very much. One problem, every association has challenges. Like for instance, if we hear that any Igbo gang is in deportation camp, information is power. Information is power. Like as it's in Qatar rules, we can't just go to deportation camp and start searching for people.
Yeah.
We deal with information. Anybody we hear, understand, that is in deportation camp, we ask about this. Our brother, we not leave him. We say Onya Alamanya, and we not leave the person when he's in this. We know how to solve it. We have tried as much as possible to reach out to those who are in deportation camp and know how to solve it. And this also, kudos to our president. He has been doing that, fervently, synergizing with the embassy and with the NIDO, that is the Nigerians in diaspora group here. Synergizing with them. Any information that comes, we just tackle it and know how to solve the problems. We've been doing that, and it's been yielding a fruitful outcome.
The other question also, I think, entails or comes under that is what do they do to assist those standing trials?
Those standing trials, like I said before, I will always say that information is power. If we hear that any of our member or any Igbo gang is standing trial, by God's grace, if it requires visits, we'll visit the person. And if it requires maybe the person solicits for financial help, definitely we make contribution. We can call the General Assembly and say, okay, look at our problem, our brother has this kind of problem. We'll be able to make contributions and be able to help the person.
Addition to that, what you have said, even currently, we have some of our brothers in deportation camp. So, because of we work in line with leaders and leader also to embassy, so even our brothers that are in deportation camp, they are not a member of Nzuko, but because of our motto is Onya Alawani. So I have reached out to a leader president and gave the name and also the case file to leader president, which also has been given to the councillor. So I believe they are working on it. I want to tell you that they are really doing good in that area, because I've seen so many of our brothers that they are being sent to the deportation camp, that later they came back. So they are really doing great in such way. Even I saw somebody this morning that was even in the deportation camp. He was arrested and was taken to the deportation camp. And they went for it, and the person came out. So I want to tell us that really in that area we have been doing great.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, we have a lawyer.
Yeah.
And our lawyer, when it comes to issues like this, will seek legal advice. Where it matters, he goes and gets the details, and then he refers back to us, so we know how to deal with it. But as for reaching out in the deportation camp, yes, very many. Unfortunately, some had been repatriated home. That was when I mentioned soft landing. The laws of this land must be respected. So when it gets to that point, we follow it, but we try to make sure that at least that Igbo brother, when he gets back, he will be able to say, oh yeah, I had my brothers who came around to this.
Okay, this question I think you're capable of answering it. It said, because we mentioned it, they say, it talked about certificate programs Was it done for free or did someone pay for it?
Just as I've said before, this was done free, but it must be a registered member of Nzuko, financially registered of Nzuko before you get the certificate.
Okay.
That's when it comes to oneness. I'm even telling our brothers back home, you need to come and be a financial member of Nzuko. I don't want us to take it for granted that yes, this union has been helping every Igbo person in Qatar. Let us not just take it for granted. Let us come and register. There's a lot of benefits that we get from this union.
To add to it, so talking about the certificate, if it was done for free, because we have registered members, and because we have at heart the potential, the growing the potentials of our members, not just to be a member and sit down here, but to become viable to the market, and viable to himself and to the family at large. So we did that program because we had, as a group, as a union, we had a recognition and we had an understanding, memorandum of understanding with one of the schools, training centers in Qatar, not few by name. And we have a lot of things in the memorandum of understanding. One of them was that program, and we did it. It was successful. I know maybe some people will begin to say, oh, but I participated and I paid money. Yes, it happened. But those were part of those who are not members, registered members. They just heard that this program is going to be, and they came to the center. And because they came there, we cannot say, oh no, you are not a member, go. Okay, you want to participate? Then you need to pay the organization, not to our union. You need to pay to the organization only a sum of 50 riyals. This is a certificate course that will be around 1,800 Qatar riyals. They paid only 50 riyals because of our union. So that's why I said benefits of the union cannot be overemphasized.
You had something to add?
What they have said before, and I'm satisfied with that. Yes.
Okay. So there's a comment here from one of the viewers. Okay, when we posted the post on the Nido group, an Igbo guy said, and I quote, "Igbo Union in Doha is a personal business. That's why it will not hold water. Somebody can wake up and block a member in WhatsApp and even change original WhatsApp group that everybody is using without soliciting for peace. The president is a nice man and he's surrounded by lions and tigers that don't know what leadership is all about." Oh my God.
People may say so many things. I want you to know that what we are holding here is what is constitution. And every organization has a constitution. I want to know also that, the viewers to know that we are not there on our own. If someone should be removed from a WhatsApp group of Nzuko, you should know that that person has violated the constitution of Nzuko. In fact, that person has also insulted all the Igbos.
There's no warning letter.
No, see, there are so many warnings. Just as I've said before, we cannot take laws into our hands. Despite I'm the president, I cannot take laws into my hands. The executives cannot take laws into their hands without the General House Assembly. They say. So if anyone is being removed from the group, that means it has deliberated on the General Assembly. And the General Assembly passed the motion to remove the person.
There's something we call overreaching. There are some persons that can be, I know we're on the air and I don't mean to be saucy or nasty, but some people can be just more than intolerant. And it is only when we get to that point that we actually practice
such
what is in the
actions.
law or take actions. We don't just exit people. And talking about the group, that we changed the group and all of this, it was also for the sake of peace. That is the underlying thing. We will not be here to start narrating all that transpired, but it was in order to maintain decorum and maintain peace.
Okay.
And that was this cool.
I want to say something.
Okay.
Please. Thank you very much. I know that viewers they are watching us and they want us to say something about that.
Yeah.
You know, the commenters maybe he may be one of the aggrieved members. Like in a group of persons, there are individual differences. A group as ours, when we started this group, first of all, we made it open for everybody in a WhatsApp group. We made it open for everybody. You know, in Igbo land we have levels. If not only in Igbo land, everywhere we have personality, we have elders. Now, when we made it open, we put everybody, we put everybody in the group. And then, somebody he will bring post anywhere. You know WhatsApp group, what is obtainable. Everybody will bring post and they will just put it in. And when you caution the person, don't put it, he will start, generating and messages. This person will counter this person, and messages will start flying in. And these elders, they don't like it. They started exiting. They said what we are doing is, childish something. It gave impression that we are not connected. Many of them, they texted us, what are you doing? Remove this person, remove these people. We gave them, even those people that were bringing those issues, we warn them personally. And when somebody posts anything that is not in line with the purpose of the the group or the WhatsApp group, we go personally, individually, and caution the person, say, please remove this, remove. And some of them felt aggrieved. You understand? And when you have warned somebody first, you give the person secondly. What will you do? In order to maintain decorum, like our financial secretary have said, you do what? You remove the person in order to maintain peace. You understand? So that is it. Our group has been so accommodating. Our president is a loving person. He's a pastor by God's grace. So he had that humane nature. He can't just wake up. And we ourselves, by God's grace, we know how much we have contributed individually, our time, financially. We have contributed to make this organization work. And we don't like it to fail. You understand? So we not to open our eyes and watch people post anything and then people will have impression. And that it has been helping us. By God's grace, we had our inauguration and we had Igbo Day here. And most of them that came, they saw various Igbo communities. They came and they supported our cause. And it has been so wonderful, it has been so marvelous. Anybody that thinks that this Nzuko will not stand, it has already stood. And we are still making effort to make sure that this we go to a higher level. Thank you so much.
And of course we are happy about that question that came.
Yeah.
You see, when you're doing something and you don't have critics, then you're not grown, you've not grown yet.
Exactly.
So this tells me that we've grown, or we're still growing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
One of the things
We are
that
open to positive criticisms. Even if you bring the negative one, we know how to handle it.
Actually, you grow because of the negatives.
Yeah.
The positive make you relax. And,
Yeah.
okay.
But in any way, we are open to criticisms. And it's
Also, in addition, those are our aggrieved members. By God's grace, we are reaching out to them. Because like they will say, these are our brothers. Irrespective of the fact that they might be offended in one area or the other. We are still, when we see them, we still communicate with them, and we still embrace them, tell them to come back to the association. Because we are a brother. You can't run away from your shadows. No matter any way you can run away from your shadows.
Yes,
they are our brothers, so we reach out to them. We know with their problem, we know how to handle it. By God's grace. They will come back to us. By God's grace.
I want to tell our brother, I know that you are seeing me. I want to tell you that maybe you agree for what we did, but I want to tell you that they will have rules. WhatsApp group have rules, and we also all in line with the constitution. So I know that you agree, but also the General House has already been briefed before you. That's why you are removed. And again, I want to tell you that we do accept you. Just as the Igbo said that. Yes. Beloved, we loved you. I want to tell you we loved you, and we only did what we did for you to come back and know that you are also an Igbo person. Because every Igbo, indigenous Igbo man will also accord respect.
Yes.
So I want we just did what we did for you to also accord respect to your elders and to those in position. So we are welcoming you. Everywhere is open. Even that's why we are still in the interim to ensure that every Igbo man, woman in Qatar belongs to this umbrella union.
And the adage says that you do not throw away the bad water with the child. So you can throw away the water, but you need the child back, and this is what we're doing.
Okay. So what are the challenges the union has faced so far since it was started?
Okay. Before my presidency, I know my president will want to say something, but every association at a starting point always face challenges, even as individuals or organizations. They have challenges. One, you have financial challenges. In case when you have activities to organize and then you don't have the financial muscle to carry it out. So also, like I said before, our people, we are very intelligent people. Let me use that word. We are very intelligent people. Before an Igbo man joins you, or before you get an Igbo man to belong to an association, he must first of all sit down and be watching you. You will be knocking your gong, that is your gene. And he'll be watching you. You will be shouting and he'll be looking at you. You understand? He'll be looking at you. He will say, let me see if this guy, before he joins you. You understand? And that's why we are democratic in nature. We don't just follow sheepishly.
You ask why.
Understand? We ask why. You see, did you see? If you, even when this program came, some people were asking why.
Why?
You understand? Why? That is why every Igbo man must ask you why. You don't just say Igbo man shut up. He will ask you why. Why are you telling me?
Understand? Why?
Or even come inside and see the Igbo man will first of all tell you, why am I coming there? And say, you understand? Like my organization, the place I work, I use it to give them example. When you buy biscuit for them, some of them they will eat, they will not even ask who brought the biscuit. But it's not, the same thing is not applicable to an Igbo man. If you bring biscuit or mineral to an Igbo man, he will first of all ask you, why are you giving me this? You understand? Why are you giving me this biscuit? He wants to know why. You will now say, okay, maybe my wife gave birth. He will tell you congratulations, and he will take it and eat. Understand?
But the why has to be
there. The why has to be there, and that is one of the challenges we are facing. Every Igbo man is asking why, and that is the reason why we have come here to answer that why, to make them believe in us that we can carry them along, irrespective of our ages. We can carry them along. We can give them the reason to belong to this association. Because we have various communities. We have various dialects in Igbo. No matter the dialects, no matter the community or the state you belong to, this association is for you. It's to make them, feel belong, feel loved. You understand? So we don't want everybody to be segregated, to be on an individual. No, let them come around. You understand? And belong. And that is one of the challenges we are facing. So we believe that at the end of this program, that challenge must have been solved. Thank you very much.
The why.
Well, additionally, when we talk about challenges, every living thing, even the non-living things have challenges, not to talk of living things, and then let alone organization that houses people from different family backgrounds and histories and all of that. So the fact that we all have different backgrounds in itself is a challenge. Then the other challenge is financial, because in this union we are not after the money, we are after the people, the interest. And so to a large extent that has hampered finance, and that is a challenge to us as an organization to function effectively. But we know that God's grace will overcome this when we cross the wire. And then, in addition to this, some other challenges we face include things like non-registered members having issues and calling upon us only when they have issues. Recognizing that there is an umbrella body that can actually stand for them, fight for them, only when they have issues. So that is also a challenge in itself, and we are trying to see how we can overcome that too.
Okay.
I want to say that, just as my FISEC have said, it's a very big challenge to us for those that are not registered members. Throughout this week, I have been in the hospital visiting non-registered members. Every day I've been in the hospital. I've even gone to an errand for this person, collecting money that is approximately up to 1,000 in Nigerian money for him to ensure that other things have been put in place for him. And also, my phone has not rest. I have not even been able to communicate with my family, who are these people that are calling and not registered members. Just as I've said the issue of those are in deportation camp. Someone even still called me, or even not late in the night. I have to communicate to the president. How is this case being processed? So, non-registered members have been the challenge that we are having. And at times when you throw it up to the general house, some will be bringing why are we carrying these people? So I want to advise, this is a time people have to join this moving trend of Nzuko na Qatar and come and register and be a financial member. I believe, even though I know our Igbos, even though you have challenges in the finance area, your fellow brother can even register for you. All we need is just for you to show interest.
Commitment.
Show interest that yes, you want to be part of this great union, and you will see your fellow brothers will do something for you. Like this today, I sent a name of somebody that will also be registered because the person showed an interest that he wants to be part of this union, but he has the financial challenges. We have to accommodate, and that is what Igbos are about. Once ever they are helpful, even we also show this helpful, they will surpass to every other nationalities. So that is how it has been our culture to assist. So the problem is if they can come and say we are showing interest, yes, we want to be part of this. Automatically, I believe our brothers will help. Another challenges we have is the place, residence where we can have our meeting venues. That is one of the challenges we have. And I want to know the view. I want to share with you viewers at home. I know that Igbo were mazo. Igbo na no olum onu were mazo. Ama na mmadụ niile na no olum. Igbo onu were mazo. N'ihi ka m na-asị Igbo I chọrọ enyemaka. Sorry for going too far, but I know that I'm speaking to my Igbo brothers.
Yes.
I chọrọ enyemaka n'ihi na I'm an Igbo were mmadụ na Qatar. Because somebody has even brought 200,000 naira, approximately 2,000 something Qatar here, when we're having our Igbo Day event. Only one person. So I know that Igbo were mmadụ, we have a very accommodating residence that you can give to us. You can even pay for the hall where we are going to be doing meeting. I know that before the pandemic, we have been doing it in the hotel, and this is where we have a little challenges. Just as my financial secretary have said, finance. So we are calling on our able Igbo men and women in Qatar to do something about this. Thank you.
You want to add something?
No, thank you.
Okay, so so do you work hand in hand with the Nigerian embassy? How does it assist the union, and maybe welfare can tell us? Or
you know, like I said, when you come to Nigeria, we have various ethnic groups. that make up Nigeria. We have the Igbos, we have the Hausas, and they are here. We have Nigerians in diaspora. These are the people that mainly work with the communities, with the ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, in Qatar, and through them they will now inform embassy. So working with NIDO has also given us the opportunity, you understand, and the link to the embassy. So we can wholeheartedly say that we are working with the Nigerian embassy because we are getting their support through the NIDO. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have anything to add?
Yeah, that's we have said it all because even though our constitution is with the embassy, so and whenever they are sending message to NIDO, it's for NIDO to reach out the communities. So I believe we are working also hand in hand, even though our letter of recognition is also in the hands of the embassy. So I want to commend the embassy for that.
So let's talk about the dress code on a lighter note. Tell us about your dress code, from the cap to the neck piece to the ofo, as you said it, and the bracelet.
Yeah, this is all about Igbo tradition. Every true Igbo man will dress just the way I have dressed. You see that this cap is made for the chiefs and for the SS council. You see them putting all this and also the collar. You see the debates. Also you see them putting all this. Who signify that this person is well respected. And also this bead is also put in your hands in our fathers, our forefathers, the chiefs. Previously, the old times, they believe that when they put these things, it's attached. There's something attached to it that is protecting them. So you see every Igbo man, the chiefs, they always put these beads in their hands. The symbol of like protection. Then when you talk about this stuff, it's called ofo. The symbol of authority, just as I'm not the one who put myself in this position. There are numerous people that gathered together and they said, we want him to be our president. So this is a symbol of authority in the Igbo land ofo. So when you speak, it will come like that. So if I speak to anybody and say, so shall it be, so it shall be.
Okay. What about her brother?
Well, basically, he said all.
No, about your own. You have your own.
It's looking traditional, but not completely traditional. But then, this is ofo also, but it does something a bit different. If I turn it this way,
It's a cup for me.
it becomes a cup.
Okay.
But this is a
Have
traditional
some
cup.
palm wine here.
With this, the most eldest person in the land or community, or the president or the lead person handles it and uses it to pour libation.
Okay.
When you see that, some people say, oh, we are going to our elderly man to bless us back home. The elderly man will bring out this and then pour palm wine inside and pray to Chi, to God. After calling God, he also reference to the ancestors from that lineage that has passed on. And after all, you pour the libation 1, 2, 3. And all you say is said, and it is done. The significance is that whatever he has said at that point, because at that point it is a communication between the living and the dead.
Okay.
Whatever he said, it holds. If anyone goes beyond or behind to do anything for me, naturally, the person gets repercussion. Naturally, without going to look for any source or anything, because it holds. It has been given to the ground, and it has been given to God. And we say this is what we have agreed. So if anybody does anything funny, all we need to do is what we call ogu. Ogu. Ajuogu. Naleo. Everybody ba ya so de ya ma. Ebe I put so hanga, ụmụ so ke hanga ya so de ya. Anane. Elu na anane. Ekele. Wale. Finish. The fight is between the person and the spirits, and that is how it works. So usually it doesn't come anyhow. It doesn't go out anyhow, and not in every occasion.
So when you turn it, it has.
And when I turn it this way, that signifies here. It signifies that okay, this person has a staff. He has a staff of authority also, and when need be, then we'll put it this way to do the necessary libation as the revered gentleman, the titled gentleman, or the most senior gentleman in that lineage or that community.
You don't have your
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I want to say something. You know, Igbos have a unique, tradition, attires. Unfortunately, I don't have my opunze here. We have what we call opunze. That one also signifies something. You understand? You have places, where you can put it.
Yes,
I don't. Yes, you show that. Okay, you've seen that one.
Yeah.
Okay, like when you put it at the back, it means maybe you are bereaved. If you see somebody who put it like this, it means that the person is bereaved. So it means ozemen and let another one never happen. You put it like this. You understand? And that is why when sometimes you see, and then when they put it like this, it means the person is in a happy mood, is celebrating. That's why when you see them put like this, the person is celebrating. You understand? So you see them dancing and all that thing. That is why you see put like this. Then when you see the person put it at the front, it means that the person is a messenger, is going for a message. So you don't need to disturb the person. Let him just go. After he finishes, he can now turn it like this. So it signifies something. And also when the one I'm wearing now, is also, when you look at the color, it's also meant for, prestige. Those who have attained a particular age. Understand? You don't just put it anyhow. Civilization has come that, many people don't know about this. And, suffice me also to, use what my president is wearing. When you look at this one is called Ishiago, the head of a lion. So in Igbo land in those days, we have lions in Igbo land. And we have those that Obuagu, when you say Obuagu, somebody that have killed a lion. So when you have killed a lion, it means that you have, you are a strong man. You are called and that is where this thing emanated from. You understand? So we have Odom, we have the one we call tiger, we have a lion. Understand? So that is the symbol, and also this symbol. And this symbol also is a symbol of authority. This one is also made with the teeth of a lion. The one is wearing. Understand? Yes. And in those days, we don't touch it anyhow. So anybody, even this one, but now many people are wearing it. Also, sorry for the one my financial. Sorry, brother. Like this one also, when after you must have finish making your libation. Some don't put it like this. If you are keeping this like this, you don't put it like this. It means this thing, it has a symbol. When you also put it like this, it means symbol, which means let the good things come inside. When you turn it like this also, let the bad things go outside. So Igbos, we have it. The reason why we have this kind of organization is that when we gather together like this, we have people who are knowledgeable enough with traditions and customs, who will be able to teach us, educate us on Igbo, lyrics, Igbo arts, artifacts, Igbo traditions, songs, all those things. You understand? So that's why we have all these things. And even you see the way we sew it, we don't sew it anyhow, like Americana. No, we don't do it.
If you can permit, please, I wanted to just raise a little this song of our Igbo. He's good in that. I know you can do it.
Do it.
Okay, you're Igbo song.
Just speak to our audience.
Okay, and they don't know. We have various songs. Umi Igbo ekele mono. Tumangwe, Umigwe, Kile Mono, Tumangwe, Lowa Lawa Kalangwe, Aye, Jewa Kalangwe, Tumangwe, Umigbo Gaderonoma. Umigbo ekele mono Tumangwe. We have various symbolism.
You have said one of what will benefit in Qatar. Whenever you are seeing all this type of sun, it will remember that that's a place you come from.
Of course.
Exactly.
So and you will be designed that one day you will go back home.
Yes.
Then also na Akuro.
Yes.
So we advise all Igbos in Qatar to join the Igbo in Qatar. There is so many things you need to learn. You thought that you know more about Igbo land or about Igbo culture. Believe me, brothers, you haven't known nothing. There's so many things you need to learn, and so many things you also need to know that might even take you away forward. You may be in Qatar and you may say what is really happening to you. Maybe you have forgotten where you come from. Maybe you have forgotten your father's culture. Maybe you have forgotten that there is certain things that your lineage didn't do. Which whenever you reach home and whenever you started doing it, you will see that things will be working well for you.
Yes.
I want to tell you that some families that the families in Igbo land that doesn't eat or doesn't do some certain things. So when you come to abroad, you said after all it's abroad. Let us flexing with people. Believe you me, you ought to begin to come to Igbo meeting and begin to enjoy the benefits. Thank you very much. Yours.
So how do you fund this union? Is it through the registration fee? Maybe that's for the finance.
Yeah, basically our funding is from registration fees and from the monthly dues. And our monthly dues are just 10 riyals per month. So you see, it's nothing basically, but this is where we get our funds. Then when we have major programs to execute, we go beyond that to maybe go for voluntary fundraising, or we call on some notable individuals and send them some invitational letters for fund appeals and all of that. And once we get, then we execute our programs. So far, that is how we've been funding the organization.
Okay.
And secondly is the executives. What we do in terms of funding from our own personal purse without bringing it to the union is because we have one interest. The interest is to grow the organization. We know that it will grow. When it grows, then funding will not be an issue anymore. But for now, we source from various ways, individually and other ways.
I also use this medium to thank my executives who have been giving about 80% in terms of finance to see that Nzuko Igbo in Qatar is not what is brought to a daughter. I want to really thank every one of you. In fact, of the truth, they are real my executives because they have gone a long way. There are so many things that have been carried out that when we look at the finance that is coming from the registration and monthly dues, we see it's of nothing. Because when we have a project, just like the inauguration, we know how much it cost us. Just like the Igbo Day, which we did on December 7th, we know how much it cost us, which it is not even from the registration money or from the monthly levy that was being done that. So it is collectively from the executives and also from every various Igbo people that are in Qatar.
Okay. So we have two comments from our viewers. I love Igbo people. I'm from Kenya. Kikuyu, so Igbo is our sisters and brothers. We know business matters. Abi.
Thank you very much for viewing us. Thank you. We promise that we will keep on making you proud. Even just as you have been watching us, we'll make sure that we keep on making people attend.
Actually, Kenyans and Nigerians, it's like we just
Yeah,
come from one,
yeah.
it's like we're just from one tree, just branches.
Yeah. You know, like what she said, she mentioned business. Igbos are well inclined in business.
Yeah.
You know, in Igbo land, we have what we call Igbo boy. After the civil war in Nigeria, Igbos, you know, saw it as a duty to train their brothers. When you are trading, you have somebody at home whom you will bring, you know, from the village to trade with you, and that helped in creating wealth among the Igbos. That is why if an Igbo man, you know, goes to an organization where they are doing business, the managerial acumen is second to none. And I will be proud to say this, like the way this TD Jakes, you know him, he traced his route to Igbo land. He's a renowned bishop and one of the richest. He's an Igbo man. Understand? That is, Igbos in business-wise, Igbos are well, you know, well grounded. They are blessed in that aspect. They know how to put things. Igbo man doesn't joke with money.
Same as Kikuyus. We Kikuyus in Kenya, we're like that. Business minded. We don't joke with money.
Yes.
And there is also one of our programs now in pipeline, which we have formed a committee to see that how our members can also benefit business-wise.
Yeah.
So we have, because of this COVID, that has made some certain things to be suspended. But we have put all these things in line to see that Igbos in Qatar kick off.
Yes.
Business.
So to that, our Kenyan sister and all the Kenyans out there, Asante Sana.
Wow.
Very well said.
Nigerians are deep rooted in their cultures. That is one thing I love about them. Another comment.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. During this COVID-19, how has this union helped or assisted the brothers and sisters in here in Qatar?
You have anything to say before I say?
Okay.
Just say before.
Yeah, we have assisted. We didn't keep quiet.
Okay.
Because the most important thing is when you say you are a union, you should be able to give your people a sense of belonging. Again, so we identified the fact that there are some of our brothers who were actually in difficulties. Some lost their jobs and all of that, the downturn and everything. So we were able to carry out we call it COVID-19 palliatives. We were able to give out, just like what Qatar Charity does. Regardless of our union compared to Qatar Charity, we were able to do something like that. And I'm sure if the whole Igbos in Qatar are watching, some will be able to send in their testimonials to confirm what we did.
We really did well in that area of palliatives. I want to thank the executives and also the members that also contributed in this. And I also want to thank one of our brothers, Kingsley Ahmad, who also gave us a huge amount of money regarding this palliatives.
Chief Dr. Kingsley.
Yeah, the chief doctor, yeah. So he also did well in this by sponsoring, and also we also the executives and some of our members also did well, and it was a big one. Just as I said, I interacted with one member today, and he was even telling me that it really serves him for months. So I really, it's very good to see that the union give a helping hand to the member and non-member, because so many members came. And I also want to thank the executives who humbled themselves, even though my beloved here, just he humbled himself.
I was sick that time.
He humbled
and I had to
himself,
come.
and he came out by squeezing his time, came out, we went to more, and we bought all those things, and all those things we are being shared. Being shared to every Igbo that are in need in Qatar. And again, for those that are in the hospital during this time of COVID, We really try. Just as I've said, one of the presenters, Mr. Christian, he also today we have an appointment. He met me at Hamad Hospital. So during this time of pandemic, we are really extend love. We have showed love to non-members and main members of Nzuko and and we are even extending it more, because even though we extend it more to every other areas, so really that we are done well.
Okay, and how is this union helping those back in Africa? Is there help you extend back in Africa? What do you suggest?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. It's a very important one. Actually, we have to be precise. You know, they say starts in your Jerusalem. You understand? Though we have background, we have villages, we have our countries, but now, because this union, it has not, it has not been long, we started. So for now, we have, helped those who are here, and we are looking forward to helping those who are back home. Understand? Maybe in due time, by God's grace, we can establish hospitals and extend, helping people to, to start up businesses and, going to hospitals and paying bills for those who may be, financially handicapped to pay for their hospital bill, because we know some of them, they always have problems. You can discharge somebody, you will not have money to settle the hospital and you'll be trapped there. So we are looking forward to doing all those things in due course. But for now, we have done that to our Jerusalem, which is Qatar.
Okay, but like if you get like job opportunities here, do you like pull them out from Africa? Come and join us here. Come we make money together.
Yes, most of them, some of them have been doing it on individual notes.
Okay.
Understand? Most of us have been doing that, because when you see light, you'll also tell your brother that there is light there. You understand? That's what we are doing. We have been doing that in individual, and we are looking forward to doing that, collectively, so that we'll be able to, have that to our names.
Okay. So our president, what are the future plans for the union as we conclude? 5 to 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, future plans we have for Nzuko and Qatar is to be foremost Igbo community in diaspora. And again, just as we are saying, the area of what are we reaching out. We want to see that Nzuko is building a hospital back homes. We want to see that Nzuko is empowering the youth back homes. We're looking out. We want to see that Nzuko is also open the borehole water for people back home. So there are some, all these things are what I feel that Nzuko and Qatar should have to do, because also Akurolo, so Igbo man believe that whatever they get in diaspora, it has to be reached home. That's why Igbo man will not fail to have investment back home.
Okay. Any last comments from?
Well, summarizing what my president and my welfare officer had said about reaching people back home. Yes, we have been reaching people back home in one way. It's supposed to be a two-way thing. We are growing. We'll get to the point where we can start pulling out people. But for now, we're reaching people back home with adequate information and guidelines, because there are a lot of visa racketeers out there, collect money, do whatever they like, and put the people, just board the plane and come here. And then when they come here, they just become helpless, or they now find out that what they were given was wrong. So we have been sending messages back home to people, advising that please, even if you are that desperate, try to find someone who is there that can give you a better information, or reach out. So very soon we'll try to reach out, circulate a channel, communication channel from Nzuko back home that will go around Igbo land, so that people can also access us through that channel in case there are anything or any information that is useful. And then talking about other things also, yeah, we are growing, we will put things in place. But I know if tomorrow somebody will come to ask, oh, on air, people said you are going to put boreholes and put schools and do this. How are you going to be able to do this in all the states in Igbo land? But everything has sequence and everything has other techniques that entails. So those things we'll put into considerations before we put those things down.
Okay. From our welfare.
The last ones? Oh. Oh, yes, thank you for being part of this epoch-making event. It's been wonderful, and we want you to keep supporting us. We want you to keep being there for us, making sure that this organization doesn't die. Even in the near future, when the people you are seeing now are not there, we're also looking forward to having the same support you are giving us, you're extending it to them. And also to our elders, we want you to come up and support us with your children and those who have been here before us. We are looking forward to working with you, and as God may have it, we've been able to visit some of them at home, to Igbo land. We believe in paying homage to elders, and we have done that to most of them that came here before us, and we are looking forward to having them more and more in our meetings. And our brothers who feel aggrieved, we are looking forward to working with you. We are your brothers. So come along with us, and in all this time, you will also be a partaker of these blessings. That is what I will have to say. We look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. So last words from our president.
Okay. I want to first of all to thank the elders of Igbos in Qatar. Their contribution to the development of Nzuko Igbo. I endorse my calf to you elders. You have really done much, Chief Otto and other personnel that has also, whenever things comes like this, we run to them, and they also give advice. There was a time he said that Oka Gramata or the Arabian, it's in Igbo dialects. You don't understand this one. So Oka Gramata or the Arabian, because it came a time that it was tough for us. But whenever we come to him, he accommodates us as his children, and also gave advice. There are so many also Igbo elders that are also in Qatar which have given us a positive response. And we also ask those that are sitting on fence to place, try to know that this Igbo has come to stay.
Yes.
That we should all sit up by now. What I care Marafo, always tell them matter. So I am Marafo, so we have seen that we are waxing strong, and the union is not our union, it's all the whole Igbos in Qatar union. I also appreciate all the Igbo leaders, the Sunas, the states, the communities. They are also with us, which is the umbrella, the parents' body. We have had meetings several before the pandemic, and some many supported when we have our Igbo Day. So I really appreciate when you say come off Anambra, we come off Imo, we come off Owerri, we come off Ebonyi, we come off Abia, and also Delta, and also support of Rivers that has joined us. So we really appreciate you all what you are saying, that you should speed up and tell other members in the various community to also join the moving train. I want to tell you that Nzuko Igbo has come to stay, and nothing will hold us down. because we are motivated, the spirit is there. And again, we are not doing all these things single-handedly. The Igbo, it was laid on the foundation of God, because the Igbos also know about Chukwu Okike Abiyama. They believed in God. So this is how it was first of all laid to the hands of God before Nzuko in Qatar was started. So I really appreciate everybody. I also appreciate the Chancellor of Nigerian Embassy. I also thank the leader presidents who has been working hand in hand with me in every. I really appreciate that young man. In the times of forgetting, he was also among the ones that motivated me most. So I really appreciate you, Victor. I know that you are hearing me. Just keep on. Also, in our dialect, also on Mad Jije Koji. And I see Koji Dema. Once ever they say that you should hold something, that means what you are holding is good. So I believe that you will not deviate from what you have been doing, because you have been trying and also the extending love to everyone. So also thank all the members of Nzuko Igbo Qatar, who has also been showing great love, brotherly love to us by supporting us. And I want to tell you that we will never fail you. For you to trust us and say that we should be on here, we will never disappoint you. We are servants. We are servants. That's why you see us extending brotherly love and also serving. So I want to thank you all and say, may God bless you. Igbo Igbo
I have one last question to our financial. Maybe you can tell our viewers. You say knowledge is what helps them. So if someone has a problem with this legal part of it, maybe they're in deportation, they're in trial or whatever, how can they contact? How will the information get to you?
Okay, our numbers are out there.
Okay.
We are very, very open and very reachable at all times. The thing is, 1 in every 3 Igbo man, one of them knows one of us. So the moment there is anything like that, and it happened to Mr. A, Mr. A seemed not to know any one of us, before he shares with Mr. B and C, he would have gotten the contact of one of us.
Okay.
So we are just open completely.
You have a public number you can share?
Presently, our own numbers are the public numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. By the time we go past this, we will now go for official number of the organization.
So I said before that my phone was ringing, and so my phone is also, I believe, it's everywhere. So
just
that
call
calling the number, neither my own or the publicity, also the welfare, they also called. So by reaching out, just like the person in the competition can, I don't really know how we reach. I believe he reached you first, and before it was.
Okay, maybe just share your number, call it out and.
Okay, my numbers are 772 70 660. Again, 772 70 660.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Please, finally, I also want to advise to say thank you to
that's what I want to say.
You've done a marvelous job and you're doing really good, and we hope to see you at the top.
Thank you so much. We are really pleased and humbled to have you on board tonight. Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining us tonight. Please